Let's go to Noble Man. Noble, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you clearly,
All
Mr.
right.
Casey. Yeah.
So, for you being a business manager, yeah, you were once here in Nigeria. I mean, you saw how what the economy looked like before you jackpot, you know. So for you, how do you think we can actually address the widening wealth gap and promote economic equality in Nigeria, especially for Nigerian youths?
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Casey, for this opportunity. One thing that I believe is when a ground is made when a ground is made fertile for investment or business or what have you, then it makes it easy for businessmen and women to be able to, churn their resources to, help those, build and develop, and in turn, it affects the society. Because, like we were saying, I heard you earlier when you talked about the private sector and the role that they are playing. In countries like this where opportunities have been made such that your business can thrive in very organized system, it makes it easy for you to, knowing that the government has a role to play in your business and you have a role to play to the community. Some level of accountability makes it easy for people to thrive. You understand? So I feel like one thing that the Nigerian government needs to do so that businesses can thrive back home and so that youth, like you mentioned, can be able to invest in this business. Number one is to understand the roles that these private businesses will play in the long run, because there is strong need for PPP, and that's private public partnerships, where they can understand that the private businesses, like our other guests mentioned, that they've been playing 90% role. So if they are playing these roles and they are not getting support or partnerships or encouragement from the government to do even better, you realize that even those who will be willing to do more will slack back. So back home, I think the major problem is that our government is not intentional or invested in building a strong, ground for businesses to thrive. Also, a strong ground for the youth and many persons who are interested in the development of Nigeria to churn their resources accordingly. We've seen over time where people who are even doing the little they can, these businesses are being, frustrated under some very stringent policies, very, either they are being, just being placed in very difficult situation, and you see people, even these investments, and they are just made to just manage within a limited, resource, because they are not being encouraged. You know what I mean? So I feel like this is one of the major problems that we have, and I feel the government should be intentional about, working hand in hand with businesses or building policies that allows businesses to thrive, creating opportunities for young men and women who are interested in doing one thing or another to, we have young guys who are technologically advanced back home in Nigeria. So if investments can be made in this regard, we have so many things that we can churn up, and I think we'll have a better running system.
These that you've mentioned, when all of these are not, are not being properly addressed by the federal government or relevant stakeholders, what other options are there left for the Nigerian youth? I mean, for you, was it rosy for you in Nigeria that you had to leave us in Nigeria to go over to the UK? So if all of these are not, put in place, is the best option for us for Nigerians to actually leave the country, abandon the country to a greener pasture?
Well, to be honest, Casey, this is a very personal question, to be fair, and people have different decisions for themselves. So when I was back home, I used to run a business for myself, and I was doing this perfume, and all of that, sales of a couple of things, and I realized that oftentimes, even to get, because when you try to say, okay, you want to import or you want to buy from people out there, you still realize that it's still a struggle. People are adding and adding and adding and making it difficult for you to make even the little profit that you want to make. No, but I trust Nigerians who have very energetic young men and women who are willing to strive regardless of and they still manage, like the first speaker mentioned, they still manage to make profit, to earn a living, to keep going. So for me, I don't think that the best option is completely just leaving the country. It depends on what you want. I am here because I came to get education and also improve in business. I just finished my MBA and I'm looking to get, a PhD as well. So it depends on what you want as an individual, and that's what matters.